Ahmed Ghuman is up next. He is a clinical psychologist who serves as the executive director of the University of Pittsburgh Counseling Center. Dr. Ghuman earned a PsyD in clinical psychology from Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. He also holds an MBA in general business administration from LaSalle University. In his clinical work, Dr. Ghuman utilizes an integrative approach of humanistic and cognitive behavioral therapy. Additionally, he specializes in positive psychology and uses a strength-based approach rooted in positive psychology with his clients. Please put your hands together for Dr. Ghuman.
She left the part of my bio that said I'm a Philly sports fan and go Birds, so I just want to... That was intentional. So one of the hardest things that I've had to do working at Pitt is to make a 10-minute presentation. So I never realized how hard this would be until I started working on it, because at first I was like, it's just 10 minutes, it shouldn't take that long. And then I was up really late last night making a 10-minute presentation. So. But when I thought about the theme from deficit to possibility and how we can shift there and change our mindset, the first thing that came up was gratitude, right? And I think it's something that's so easy and so simple, but it's so meaningful and impactful, and people just don't practice it enough and use it in their everyday life. So that's going to be the theme of my hopefully 10-minute presentation. I said all that because I know how long this is going to take. So what is gratitude? So gratitude is a defined sense of wonder, thankfulness, and appreciation, not only for the small things, but also the big things that happen and come along in life, right? And it's the recognition that goodness lies outside of ourselves, right? And that appreciation for the people and the things and the opportunities that, bring those things into our life as well. And it plays a very important role in our ability to be resilient, to be happy, to flourish, and to just have general well-being as well. And gratitude is also important because it not only allows us to feel good, but it also inspires us to do good in the world as well. So my hope is that after you see my 10-minute presentation, that you walk away with something that you feel like you can do that can really help us I know a lot of us are struggling right now during this time, but it can really help you get out of this rut, this mindset, maybe the feelings of despair and hopelessness about, our society, our country, our future, and things that we can do to try to really focus and shift that mindset to possibility. So there's a lot of benefits of practicing gratitude, and I'm going to go through a lot of them here. So I'm going to go through them pretty quickly because I could talk about gratitude for hours. So the first one is gratitude. It reduces our stress. So when we're practicing gratitude, it helps calm our nervous system. It activates our parasympathetic nervous system. It helps us rest and digest, and actually helps us feel more calm. It helps us boost resilience, emotional resilience, to help us navigate setbacks and hardships that we experience in life. Gratitude is a really great thing to help strengthen and cultivate healthy relationships and positive relationships, right? There's so many people in our life that do so much for us, and we never take the moment to thank them and to appreciate them and stuff too. And vice versa. Imagine the feeling when you feel unappreciated, right? It's like the worst feeling when you do something for someone and you don't feel appreciated by that person. And it's not to say it's a lack of gratitude, but it's a lack of expression of that gratitude that the person might have for you, or vice versa. It fosters a growth mindset because it helps us continue to focus on the positive aspects of our development rather than fixating on the things that aren't going well for us or the things that we're struggling with, and that can really help us continue to persevere. It promotes perspective taking, right? So when something bad happens, it's not, when you practice gratitude, you're able to step back, look at it from a different perspective, and navigate it a little bit differently too, because it's not just, you realize it's not just all negative and terrible too. There's a lot of research that shows that practicing gratitude can reduce depression and anxiety symptoms. And I'm actually going to show you at the end a little challenge that you can do as well for that. Gratitude increases life satisfaction and contentment because we stop looking at all the things that we don't have, the things that we want, right? And we focus on the things that we do have, right? And then it also helps us to not engage in social comparison, upward social comparison that continues to make us feel worse about ourselves, right? So, if you go on social media and by the end of it you feel terrible about your life, right? That's upward social comparison, right? And that's a problem because social media is everybody's highlights, right? So highlight reel, people don't put all the negative things that are happening to them on social media. And then it combats negative thinking patterns as well. So again, when something bad happens, we tend to engage in, distorted thinking patterns and stuff where it might be all or nothing or catastrophizing and whatnot. So when we can shift that through a practice of gratitude, it can really help us reframe the way that we process information and the events in our life. So there's a lot of research that supports that practicing gratitude can reduce the risk of heart disease, which then inevitably increases life expectancy as well. It improves our sleeping patterns, right? So one of the reasons part of this is because typically, like, imagine you have a really good day, but something bad happened, you had one bad interaction or something. At the end of the day, that's what you're focused on, right? You're not thinking about all the things that went well, all the things that, you're grateful for. You're focused on the things that aren't going well, that you don't have, or something negative that happened, right? So when we practice gratitude, it can help improve the quality of our sleep as well. It helps us promote savoring in the small moments. Again, life is full of small moments. We have the highlights, we have the big moments that happen, but day to day, there's all these little small moments, positive interactions. And when we practice gratitude, it allows us to savor those moments. And when you do, you really do notice like a noticeable shift in how you just feel better because you're really appreciating the things that are happening around you every single day. It reduces social comparison, and then it increases our self-esteem as well because, again, we stop comparing ourselves to people and people who we perceive to have more than us, right? Or we perceive to be happier than us, right? So that's really important too. It improves focus and concentration on tasks. It helps us be more patient, have more emotional regulation and self-control, and it reduces that need to be impulsive as well, right? So that's one of the things about when we practice gratitude, it gets rid of a lot of those negative, unwanted feelings and emotions like envy, resentment, greed, bitterness, right? Because again, we're focused on things that are going well in our life. And then lastly is a lot of research supports that the number one thing that makes us happy is the practice of gratitude, right? So everybody wants to be happy, and here's a recipe for it too, but it's something, again, it's simple, but it can be hard to practice as well. So this is some different ways that we can practice gratitude, right? So the easiest thing to do is to keep a gratitude journal, right? And to just regularly jot down things that you're grateful for. Take a moment every day to express your gratitude to your friends, family, co-workers, colleagues, mentors, people that have been there for you in your life as well. Practicing mindfulness is important, right? So a lot of times, right, when we're anxious, we're worried, we're not in the moment. We're thinking about the future. We're thinking about stuff that happened, right? So when we practice mindfulness, it can really help us center us and bring us to the moment. Create a gratitude jar. So this is really cool. Every day you fill your gratitude jar with things that you're grateful for, and then you can visually see it fill up and see things. And then, whenever you're feeling down, you can pull something out of it and reflect on it too. Volunteering or helping others, right, can foster a sense of gratitude, connectedness, and really just appreciation for your own life. Set daily reminders if you have to, right? You can set an alarm just to, be grateful for something that you're grateful for and whatnot as well. Take a gratitude walk, ride, stroll, hike, right, where you kind of appreciate the nature, beauty, the things around us as well. Obviously, Pittsburgh's a great place for us to do that as well. And then again, expressing appreciation to the people in your life for the things that they do, it can really help strengthen your relationships and your bonds with people, right? Because people want to feel appreciated, and gratitude is a really great way to do that. So reframe challenges. So see them as opportunities that can, foster resilience, provide opportunities that promote growth and help us continue to get better. So probably one of the most effective activities for gratitude is to write a gratitude letter. So, and this one requires a little bit of work, but where you think about someone in your life that's really important to you, right? And then you write a gratitude letter expressing why appreciate this person and whatnot. But that's just the first part of it. The second part of it is you actually deliver the letter to them, and then you read it to them, right? Ideally in person, but of course you could do it on FaceTime, over the phone, or if you want, you can send it. But that's the most effective thing because it not only has the impact on the person, but also the person doing it too. So take a moment to write a letter to someone in your life that, has been there for you and has done a lot for you too, so. Practice your gratitude ABCs. So this is also a great way to fall asleep when you're having trouble. So you start at A and you go through the alphabet, and by the time you hit something, you end up passing out. But you try to think of something that starts with every letter of the alphabet. It's also a very good team building activity if you're ever leading a meeting. It's a good activity to kind of go through too. Write thank you notes, simple thank you notes, right, to the people in your life that have been there for you. Answer daily gratitude reflection questions. So you can buy card decks on Amazon or other places, and just answer daily gratitude, things that we don't even think about that we have to be grateful for as well. We can also experience gratitude through our past experiences, where you recall and savor past experiences that you've had, positive experiences, things you're grateful for, because we so quickly move on from positive experiences, but when something bad happens, like, we can continue to fixate on it for months afterwards too, right? And then reflect on your why, right? So like when you're having a hard day at work, if you work at Pitt, it's a challenging time right now, but reflect on your why, like, why do you do the work that you do? And that can really help us kind of focus on gratitude and cultivate that too. And also when you're reflecting on gratitude, it's important not only to reflect on the thing that you have or the person that you have, but if you reflect on the absence of it, it creates a deeper appreciation for it too, right? So it's like not only being grateful for the people in your life, but reflecting on the absence of them in your life can really help foster a deeper sense of gratitude. So this is the thing I want everyone to practice. So it's so there's been a lot of research on keeping a gratitude journal that was done by Martin Seligman, and what he found was that people that kept a gratitude journal for 21 days showed a decrease in depression symptoms, anxiety symptoms, and better sleep. So this is simple as just writing down 3 good things that happen every day before you go to bed. Again, because you're shifting that, so now when you're going to bed, focusing on positive things instead of things that aren't going well. So try this, right? Write down 3 things. It's something you could do it in your phone. You could do whatever, and then also reflecting on why those things are in your life and a deeper processing of it, but just simple keeping that, and see how you feel after 3 weeks, right? And earlier they talked about building and forming habits and whatnot too, and this could help contribute to that as well. And then the last thing, before I get kicked off the stage, I just want to talk about some initiatives that we're doing here at Pitt to cultivate flourishing and at Pitt. So we have a wellness and resilience in college and beyond course. So Christine's there, one of our instructors, but that's a course that started when Jay Dar was there too in the counseling center with 20 students, and now we're up to 180 students a semester that we teach this course to. And there's a large teaching team where it teaches students different wellness and resilience skills, and then they practice it in a lab recitation section and whatnot too. I teach a positive psychology course at Pitt, which is more like clinical focus and focus more on interventions and helping people improve their mental health. We probably have some mental health champions in the room, but we have a mental health champion certificate program for both staff and students. So for students, we developed it on Canvas where they can complete the whole course, and they get credit for the outside of the classroom curriculum and whatnot too. But there's a module on there, increasing student well-being and promoting flourishing. And the last thing, which was mentioned earlier, and there's a poster outside with Meg sitting outside, is the Wellness Concierge program that we developed as well, which provides more one-to-one peer support for students to help them in their wellness journey. So end to end, when I was cranky last night at Ron for making me do this, I also took a moment to reflect that, I'm also honored that he asked me to come and speak to everyone. That was a moment for me to practice gratitude for this 10-minute presentation, which I think is up now, so appreciate it.